Welcome back, adventure riders. Today with another off-road adventure motorcycle riding tip, and you can tell we're gonna talk about water crossings, right? One of my least favorite things to demonstrate because I hate wet feet, but training area here in Southern California, we don't get a lot of opportunities to ride water crossings. So you can tell here, this is part of one of our trails. In general, when you're out there riding and you come down the trail and you see water, in most cases, you don't know how deep it is, right? So number one tip and riding technique in these cases is you have to make sure that you go into the water slow, right? A lot of riders tend to kind of come in a little bit too hard because they worry about getting stuck or the water being too deep. If you go in really fast, you just create this massive wave and right away you're soaked, right? You're coming in, the water just all over you, on your visor, on your bike, everything's wet, gloves are wet. That is my worst nightmare. And I think for most riders, that's just not very comfortable, especially if you have a lot more riding to do that day. So tip number one, make sure you come in slow. Tip number two, you want to be standing up, right? You just have a lot more leverage of the bike. You have a lot more control when you're standing up. And we have these videos above here where we talk about the ideal position of riding your adventure motorcycle standing up. Balls of your feet, drop your heels, keep the bike tight. That's the same in the water. So once you're in, nice and slow, you're standing up, keep one finger on the clutch, right? You will see in these clips, you kind of want to ride through the water nice and slow, steady on the throttle, and have the clutch ready in case you need a little bit more. You can pop the bike up a little bit more, or in case you want to slow down a little bit. The worst thing that can happen to you is you stall your bike when you're in the middle of the water, so be ready to use that clutch a little bit. So you got it, you're standing up, you're coming in slow. Now you obviously want to get out of the water, and that's, again, vision, right? Look ahead, look to where you want to go. There's no point in looking right in front of you because that's just water. You can't see the bottom. You're not going to be able to tell if there's a rock, log, ruts, whatever. You're only able to kind of see the end of the water, and that's where you want to focus, right? So that stabilizes the bike. It kind of keeps your eye on the prize, you know, where you want to go. You're centered on the bike, everything's nice and neutral as far as your weight goes. Your hips slightly further back. Like I said, you can't see the bottom of the water, so always be prepared for the front end kind of shifting, moving away from you. So you're standing up, your hips drift further back a little bit. That transfers the weight to the back. Your elbows are slightly bent, so if your front tire hits something, you're able to react and work with the bike. If you're stiff here and you're just holding on, or you're standing up too straight and the front tire hits something, the whole bike will just gonna, shoot to the left or the right. You're gonna lose control. And if that water is deep or wide, you're most likely gonna crash.
So prime example of this is right here. As I go into the water, I lose the front end a little bit. I have to dip my foot on the ground. Right away, I bring it back up, get it back on the foot peg so I can get the bike back under control.
So this is it for this week's adventure bike riding tip. This is how you get through water. Make sure you're going in slow. Make sure you're standing up. Make sure you keep a finger on the clutch for that clutch control. Find some traction and then look where you want to go and ride back out. Water crossings are a lot of fun, especially when you're coming out on the other side dry. That is always the goal. If you like this type of content, please leave us a like and subscribe. Check out our website below if you're interested in coming out here to San Diego and train with us. And if you're interested in seeing more adventure bike riding tips, check out some of these videos where we talk a lot more about riding off-road.